Hi guys, it's your girl B Michelle coming at you with another Dollar Tree DIY, and I'm starting with these 8x10 picture frames. And you guys, you want to make sure that all your picture frames are going to be the same size. I noticed that I had like 3 different sizes. They're all supposed to be the same. They had the same picture in the background within the frame, but they were 3 different sizes. I think Dollar Tree is kind of shrinking things. It still can get an 8x10 picture in it, but the frame itself was a little bit, they were different sizes. So you want to make sure that you have all of the same size. So starting with the frame, you want to take the back off and you want to remove those tabs from the back of the frame. I use a pair of pliers. You can also use your fingers and just kind of wiggle those little tabs out. They're pretty easy to come out. So if you don't have pliers, there's no problem. You can just wiggle those out. Then you want to remove the glass, and then I use some, this is a different glue. I've never used this glue before, but it's some Gorilla Glue, and it's good for glass. It's good for a lot of different things. It's supposed to be like the same as E6000, so you can use whatever type of glue that you want to use. This was something new that I was trying out, so I just put that basically in the corners, and I went around the frame using some hot glue. You can use all E6000 or whatever type of strong glue that you desire to seal your glass to the frame. That's totally up to you, however you want to do it, your method of gluing this together. But this was an easier way for me to do it, a quicker way. So after I did that, you want to clean your glass up, because I'm going to be using some gems, and you can use whatever style gems you want. These gems came from the Dollar Tree. Of course, you know they have the 2 different styles. They have the ones that's kind of diamond shaped, which are the ones in the bag, and then they have those in a little pack with a little light, and they kind of have like a rock look to them. So I'm just randomly placing these on the frame using some hot glue. Of course, you can use the stronger glue if you want to make sure that they stay secure, that none of them will fall off. I typically don't usually have an issue with them falling off, but sometimes, occasionally, I may lose one or two. But so far, pretty much the majority of my projects, I haven't had an issue with the gems falling off of the glass. So once I have that all glued together, and you want to do this because I'm going to be gluing the 2 frames together. You can randomly place more. You can make a design pattern or whatever you want to do. Once you have those glued on both sides, I'm just taking some of the glue and I'm just running it along the back side of one of the frames, and I'm going to join the 2 frames together. So I'm joining back side to back side so you can have the gold pieces on the outside of both frames. You use whatever color frames that you desire. That's totally up to you. So I'm just trying to get everything lined up. Once I have everything lined up, if you have clamps, if you want to clamp those together until that glue dries, you can do that, or you can put something on it to kind of press those 2 frames together so they can dry. And these are just some of the clamps from the Dollar Tree. So if you have those, great. And I miss you guys. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be consistent right now, but at some point I will be consistent again with making videos at least once a week. But I will be back. So the next step is to join the frames together to build the case. And I'm using some of the glue. I'm so sorry about I don't know what happened with recording. I thought I had it positioned where you can see everything, but apparently a lot of the shots are kind of cut off and it looks like it's not the right angle. So I apologize for that. But you just want to run some glue along the side of the frame, and I'm going to be joining the tall side of the frames with the, so basically it's a 8x10 frame. So I'm using the side that's like the 8, if you understand what I'm saying. But I'm joining the tall sides. It's going to be taller rather than the short side. So I'm just running some glue. You could do it either way, however way you want to do it. It's totally up to you. So just put some glue on there, and I use a craft stick to kind of smooth that glue out. And you don't necessarily have to put the glue on both sides of the frame because only one side is going to be touching. And I didn't think about that when I started applying the glue, but that's up to you. But I guess it could help too, because I'm also going to be using some craft sticks to fill in on the part that's not going to be touching. And I use just a dab of hot glue so I can continue working. I didn't want to use a whole lot of hot glue on this project because I wanted to use the glue, the stronger glue, to make this project more sturdy. So I just used it just for the sake of me continuing to build the frame up, build the case up. So as you can see, I'm placing the glue on both frames, but you don't necessarily have to do that. But I guess it's okay when you use the craft sticks. I'm going to show you once I have the frame together how I use the craft sticks as well on the part that's not going to be touching, because you're going to have frame to frame contact on one of the frames, but the second frame is not going to be touching the gold part of the frame. It's going to be kind of like laid over the glass, so that's not going to be touching anything, but I'm going to use some craft sticks to kind of fill that in. I hope I'm sounding clear to you guys. Okay, so you can see here, one frame is going to be touching. And you see the gold where you can see through the glass, where you see the other gold frame. That's why I was saying you didn't necessarily have to put the glue there, but I'm actually going to put some craft sticks there. So I painted some, spray painted some craft sticks gold to fill in, to kind of make up for that space there. You just want to line these up as evenly as possible. And these are the craft sticks. And if you need to cut them to make them fit, you can do that as well. So you just want to slide those underneath. You can do this while your glue is still hot. While your glue is still wet. But I actually had to use some hot glue because I didn't think of this idea until after I had already placed that glue there. So this is why I'm using the hot glue. So you just want to slide it underneath to kind of fill in that space. And there were some of them I was able to get 2 craft sticks, like double the thickness of the craft stick. And then some places I was only able to get 1 craft stick. So it's up to you and how your project turns out. I'm not sure why I was able to do 2 on some and 1 on others, but that's basically it. So you just want to clean your glass. And I did this project in it took about 3 days to complete this project because in between working and doing other things and allowing that glue to dry. So it took me about 3 days to complete it. But it all can be done in 1 day. It just depends on your schedule. So I also used these candle holders and I spray painted them gold. And I'm going to be gluing this down to create a second shelf. So in total, I used, I guess, 16 of the 8x10 frames. 4 of these candle holders. Spray painted them gold. And if you want to double it, you can double it. If you want to make it taller, that's an option as well. You can glue those candlesticks together to make it taller. That's totally up to you. And I just put some glue on the bottom and I just glued it down. It's actually 4 of those candle holders that's glued down to create a second shelf. And I'm sorry you can't see me applying the glue, but I basically just went around the bottom of the frame of the candle holder, and I'm just placing it down onto the glass. So the next step is to glue some feet onto the case. This is optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. So I use these candle holders. They come 2 in a pack at the Dollar Tree. I haven't seen these in a while. I've actually had these for a while, but I haven't seen any recently in the Dollar Tree, but I haven't been finding a lot of things in the Dollar Tree recently. So your Dollar Tree may be different. I do know that they all are different. I was in Tennessee a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed that Dollar Tree was way different from the ones here in Alabama. I mean, they pretty much had some of the same things, but it was so much neater. It was clean. There wasn't boxes all in the aisles, and it was very pleasant to walk through there. So every Dollar Tree is different. But if you can find these would make great feet for this case. So I just used some of the glue, and I'm just going to glue those down. I'm using a set of 2. I'm using 4 in all, so I'm using 2 packs of these. And you can spray paint them gold if you want to, or whatever color that you desire to use. You can spray paint those as well, but I just left mine clear. And you do want to allow time for each process to dry. So I flipped it over, and I'm adding glue to the tops of the candle holders so I can connect the top piece of the case. So you just want to put glue on all 4 of the candle holders. And you just join the top piece. And when you join the top piece, just want to make sure that you lined everything up. I didn't have mine lined up, so mine is a little bit crooked, but it's okay. So just line those up. And it may be better to turn the bottom part upside down so you can kind of see where the candle holders are going to be glued. So whichever way works for you, just want to make sure that it's lined up straight. And this is basically the final look, but also if you want to add some lights to it, these are those push lights from the Dollar Tree. They have the little sticky backing on the back, and you just peel off the paper and you can just stick those wherever you want. If you want to have this more permanent, you can use some of the strong glue or some hot glue and just glue it down, glue it to the top of the top part of the case. I put one at the top and one at the bottom as well, and I just basically stuck mine up there, but you can glue it down to make it permanent, and you still will be able to change the battery. All you do is untwist it. So this is the final look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share the video. And until next time, you guys, I'm just going to show you the final look, and see you next time. Bye.